Welcome, dear students, to Class 12 SIS English classes. Today, we are going to start with the first chapter of Flamingo, the last lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. About the author. He was born on 13th May 1840 in France and died on 16 December 1897. He was a French novelist, short story writer, playwright, and poet. His wife was Julia Daudet. He had 3 children. Formerly, he was a school teacher. He quit it to make a living as a journalist in Paris. Let's have a look at the background of the chapter. The last lesson is set during the Franco-Prussian War in 1870-71. France was defeated by Prussia, led by Bismarck, the military leader. Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. The German language was imposed in the French districts of Alsace and Lorraine. The last lesson describes the feeling of a French teacher, M. Hamel, and his student Franz when they get to know this. About the characters, the 2 protagonists of the story, M. Hamel and Franz, belongs to Alsace. M. Hamel is a French teacher at a school and Franz is one of his students. M. Hamel is a sincere and strict teacher of the French language, who is passionately patriotic. He breaks down at the end of his last lesson. Franz, he is a sensitive and honest schoolboy who accepts his fault of ignoring his lessons. The story revolves around how the war proves to be a life-altering event for both. Summary of the chapter. Franz is reluctant to go to school. He was afraid of going to school as he had not learned the participles. Poor Franz, he did not even know a single word about them and was afraid of a scolding from his teacher. It was a bright sunny day, and for a moment Franz thought of running away and spending the whole day outside. He wanted to enjoy beauty of nature, the bright sunshine, the birds chirping in the woods, Prussian soldiers drilling, etc. Attracted his attention, but he resisted. On his way to school, Franz passed the town hall and noticed a crowd in front of the bulletin board. The bulletin board in the town hall had all the bad news of lost battle, the drafts and orders of the commanding officers, etc. This time, when he saw a crowd in front of the hall, he wondered what it could be now. M. Hamel's strange behavior. When Franz reached school, he noticed some changes in the school. Instead of noisy classrooms, everything was as quiet as Sunday morning. The teacher does not scold him and told him very kindly to go to his seat. Franz notices many unusual things at school. He noticed that M. Hamel was wearing a special attire, which he wore only on special occasions. The whole school was strange. The villagers had occupied the last benches to pay tribute to M. Hamel for his 40 years of sincere service and also to express their solidarity with France. The orders had come from Berlin. M. Hamel made the announcement that That would be the last French lesson. It was a thunderclap for Franz. He realizes that was what was put up on the bulletin board. Franz realizes that he doesn't know his own mother tongue. He regretted why he had not taken his lessons seriously. He also realizes the reason why the teacher was dressed in his Sunday best and villagers sitting on the back benches. M. Hamel realizes that all three, the children, the parents, and he himself, are to be blamed for losing respect and regard for the mother tongue. M. Hamel spoke about the French language and said that it was the most beautiful and logical language in the world. He also said to always keep the mother tongue close to one's heart, as it is the key to the prison of slavery. The last lesson. M. Hamel opened a grammar book and taught them their last lesson. Franz was amazed to see how well he understood everything. The teacher was teaching sincerely and patiently, the students and others studying with utmost sincerity. Franz wonders sarcastically if the Prussians could force the pigeons to coo in German as well. The final goodbye. M. Hamel sat motionless in his chair. For 40 years, he had given his faithful services to the school. Finally, they had a lesson in history. Everybody became emotional towards the end. Some even started crying. But M. Hamel had the courage and patience to hear every lesson to the last. M. Hamel, overcome with emotions, could not speak and wrote on the blackboard, "Vive la France," which means "Long live France." The church bell rang and he dismissed the class, signaling everyone to leave. Dear students, we will discuss few question and answers related to this chapter. First, what did Franz notice that was unusual about the school that day? The answer: usually when school began, there was a great bustle which could be heard out in the street, but it was all very still that day. Everything was as quiet as Sunday morning. There was no opening or closing of desks. His classmates were already in their places. The teacher's great ruler, instead of rapping on the table, was under M. Hamel's arm. The village elders occupied the last benches in the class. The second question, Franz thinks, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? What could this mean? This comment of Franz shows a Frenchman's typical reaction to the imposition of learning German, the language of the conquerors. Being deprived of the learning of mother tongue would mean cutting off all bonds with the motherland. Teaching the pigeons to sing in German indicates how far the Germans would go in their attempts of linguistic chauvinism. Question 3. Why does M. Hamel reproach himself for his students' unsatisfactory progress in studies? Answer: M. Hamel has been rather irregular as a teacher. He took leave whenever he wanted to. Besides, he had often sent the students to water his plants, and whenever he wanted to go fishing, he just gave them a holiday. So he reproaches himself for his students' unsatisfactory progress in study.